Hello. Welcome in once again to the Hive. It is the Swarm Wrestling Edition today. Honestly, if you're watching this, well, technically in America, it won't be this time. But if you're watching this in Australia right now, it is the 4th of July.
It is.
Which for America is our birthday. So, cool.
Happy birthday to you, JPJ.
Fireworks, hot dogs and hamburgers, baseball.
Beautiful,
really. It's so weird to me, and I know we're going to be talking about wrestling in a minute, guys. And I know we are American, and not everybody. I get it. It's so weird to me how I'm still pretty passionate about the 4th of July as a holiday. Like I really love the holiday, family cookouts. Baseball, hot dog eating. Joey Chestnut gonna eat 80 fucking hot dogs. Yeah, like all the shit around 4th of July, I like and I actually love. It's one of my favorites. It's in like my, it's in my I would say my Mount Rushmore of holidays. But at the same time, it's just a terrible, weird time in America that like I'm not really proud of like the things that are happening in America. But I still fucking love the 4th of July. And I still take pride in like that. I don't know. It's very odd.
You know what it is? You just love it because, and this is why everybody loves it, I think. It's an excuse to like not do shit on the day.
Yeah, I guess.
And you got to do fun things. I got to watch baseball, eat too much food, ignore my job. It's
drink.
For
those who do, I know not everybody does. That's fine. That's a great choice. If you do not, I wish more power to you. But it's a holiday. This year it's on a Friday as well. So it's like, holy shit, man. It's not just going to be the 4th of July. It's going to be all weekend. It's going to be weekend ragers, bro. And your boy has Saturday and Sunday off. So
hey, can't complain.
Hell yeah.
That means go extra crazy.
Then I got to go back to work the day that college football 26 comes out. And I'm going to be like, what the hell am I doing with my life? Honestly, what am I doing with my life?
Wasting your time.
Next Monday is my holiday.
Correct.
Unbelievable. Anyway.
But this Monday, actually, technically, by the time you watch this, is already Friday.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But we are here to talk some wrestling. A lot of stuff going down. We had Night of Champions over last weekend. We will be going through that, discussing our feelings about that. We'll be talking a little bit about Monday Night Raw. I know the event has happened by the time you're watching this, but as we record, tonight is Dynamite 300, and there are some couple gigantic matches on that. And I think tonight we're going to see a lot of the All-In, the rest of the All-In, because there's only 3 matches as of this moment. I think tonight we're going to start seeing a lot of the card get into shape tonight, which will be a good thing. So there's just, and then that same day we have Saturday night's main event, which we'll dive into. There's been a couple matches made since the last time we spoke and did the wrestling thing. We have Evolution that next day. We have the NXT PLE in the afternoon.
This is the one weekend we get to relax, because last week was Night of Champions. This weekend we get to celebrate one of the weirdest countries in the world, I would say, at this point. And then next week it's you ain't doing shit but watching wrestling, no matter what day it is.
Correct. All day Saturday, the 12th. Yep. All day. But let's start it off with some Night of Champions, shall we?
Sounds good.
It emanated from Saudi Arabia last Saturday, Riyadh. It was Night of Champions. Only 2 championship matches out of the 6, though, on Night of Champions. But nonetheless, we did have the King and Queen of the Rings finals as well. And this show opened up with one of those finals. This show opened up with the King of the Ring finals. It was Cody Rhodes against Randy Orton in what I thought was a good match. I liked seeing a darker side of Cody a little bit in the match. We've seen him lose a couple big matches by trying to be the nice guy and doing things the fair way. And oddly enough, with his mentor and one of his good friends, he was not holding anything back in this match. But I kind of like that side of Cody. And we saw Cody Rhodes win and become the King of the Ring. So he will be challenging, one would assume, John Cena at SummerSlam as the winner gets a world title match on their respective brands. How did you feel about the final and the King of the Ring? And how'd you feel about Cody overcoming and beating Randy. Because I know when we talked about it last week, we both picked Cody.
But I wanted Randy.
But
I picked Cody.
No, you picked
Randy.
Yeah, but I remember you saying that you thought Randy had and I think he did, obviously. But you thought that I think there was more than a chance that Randy could win.
I did. And I think it was more to do with, what we're going to get at SummerSlam, why Randy would win, and not so much as a negative Cody thing. I thought they were going to give Randy and Cena. I feel like that rivalry over the last 20 years probably deserves a proper, no offense, R-Truth or Ron Killings, I guess he goes by now. A real match, I'll say, a real finish. But obviously they want the more obvious route. And again, we always say obvious is not bad in wrestling if it's done correctly.
Nope. Correct.
And I think we probably will get to this obviously in a couple weeks, but we probably assume Cody's getting that strap back by some means at SummerSlam.
Oh, I'll go right into it right now, Ben.
Okay, let's do it.
I think a double turn has happened.
We should mention, obviously, if you're watching this, John Cena did beat CM Punk at the end of Night of Champions to retain his title.
Yeah.
So what do you think? You think Cody wins it?
Yes. I think Cody wins it back at SummerSlam. No, I think it's a double turn.
Okay.
And I think that's because John. Okay, I didn't want to. Yeah, all right.
We'll get into it. Why not?
Yeah. John. John has been doing some babyface stuff here recently.
Yes, he sure is.
So I look at it as he's still the heel character. He's still going to ruin wrestling. He's the last real champion, all that stuff. But you can tell over the last month or so, like some of those babyface things are like creeping in with him again.
Absolutely.
And I think the match with Randy that we're talking about, I think that showed a little bit of viciousness from Cody.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see, because there are some people, and I'm one of them, I don't think Cena's going to be a heel all year. Like, I think and I think SummerSlam through December would be kind of a good way to do it, if that makes sense. Now, again, if you're talking on the business side of things, it would be a little wild to make your top babyface of the last half decade, like clearly the most over, him and Roman, but like, you know what I mean, the most over babyface you've had in Cody still gets. Oh, Cena would automatically be the most over babyface if it happened the rest of the way.
No, I meant Cody might be the most true baby, like white meat babyface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From a business perspective, I don't know how smart that would be to turn him. He sells a lot of merch. He's the guy everybody wants to see. He still gets the biggest pop of the night every show. Like, So I understand that, but it is pro wrestling, and things like that have happened throughout the lifetime of pro wrestling, my lifetime of pro wrestling.
We saw John Cena turn heel. What the hell was going to happen?
Yeah, and I think doing if they did it right, I think doing a double turn where, coming out of SummerSlam, the belt is back on Cody. But Cody, yep, here he comes. There he is. Boom. Immediate. Showing his butt off. Hey, man. What's up, dude?
What does he think about Cody winning?
Here he comes.
Is he a Cody fan?
Just going to get up all in my shit. Like, not even trying to, just automatic. Yeah. He's actually a John Cena guy.
Okay. He's a loser Boston guy.
Yeah. He's a we rep. Hi. Okay, can you not get near the mic? Thank you. All right. But I think that's a thing that could happen. I think that's a thing that could happen.
That could.
And I think that if that happens, we're getting a trilogy with these two.
Real quick, on the Cody potential turn, I feel like he has to do a little group of like maybe Ricky and Ethan or something. Definitely Ricky 1000%.
The rumor is Ricky and Ethan might join Seth's group.
Seth, but hey, there's a double turner. No one's expecting that.
Yeah.
Because Ricky and him are obviously very close.
Yeah. But all right. So obviously we're going to talk about Cena a little bit more in a few, but I could see that happening at SummerSlam instead of Cody just kind of being, the babyface who just overcomes. But then again, like now it's like, are we supposed to forget about The Rock completely? Because it is SummerSlam. Is he just going to fucking show up like he does?
Do you think we get him on screen for any type of anything?
I mean, I can't bank that we will, but I mean, I feel like every time it's one of these big shows, he decides to just kind of make his presence felt.
You almost have to feel like when Cena turns, The Rock will be there.
Yeah, you would have to. You would have to. You would have to, right? Because the whole
They don't
Cena...
have a match, do they?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
So who's Punk? Punk. Who's Cena's last match?
Well, I think if they... it depends. I think if they do the double turn, I think it's Cody still.
Cody 3.
I think it's him going for the belt in his last match against Cody.
They're going to have him lose in Boston?
Yes. You always go out on your back.
But that's
you
really
always go out on your back.
But then Cody has to be a heel. He's going to get booed like Cena did against RVD at Hammerstein.
Yep.
He's going to get fucking poured down boos.
Yep. I think that's fine.
No, it is absolutely fine, but you can't have a babyface.
No.
He has to be a heel.
No, but I think it cements... If Cody... Let's just say Cody wins back the belt at SummerSlam.
Yep.
Good guy or bad guy, doesn't matter.
Right.
And then it leads to a trilogy, and the last match is Cena going for the belt again against Cody, and Cody beats him. You've cemented Cody as like, okay, Cody is...
And if he is a heel, you're making him a super fucking heel in that situation as well.
Yes. But again, who knows?
I think Cena does have to... Sorry. I think Cena does have to lose unless they did do a Rock or something, because then he could be the Rock. Who gives a fuck if the Rock loses? But if it's like a current... like a Punk, a Cody, he has to lose, I think.
Yeah. I thought Punk was going to be the guy that was going to get the belt off John. But, I mean, we'll see where that goes. But, so that opened the show. And then we went right into a street fight between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I enjoyed this match a lot. I thought this was one of the better matches on the show.
I think we kind of predicted that going in, just because, like we say always, what do they call it? The big meaty men slap and meat. This is the woman version of that. Two big old women, and not like in a bad way, like massive. No,
strong, like just big, strong women.
Just beating the shit out of each other in a street fight.
Yeah, and I think that this was easily the best that Raquel Gonzalez has looked on the main roster in a match. And she, at points in this match, she was dominating Rhea Ripley, like beating the shit out of her. Yes, it was. It was completely believable that this could happen. Yeah, in my opinion, I thought this was the best Raquel match that I've seen singled, in maybe her time on the main roster.
She's been good recently. She's almost on her, like, when Nia returned the most recent time on that kind of run. Yeah. Where she's like, okay, she's actually legitimately improved, and everybody says, oh, she sucks. She's just a big horse. She doesn't do anything. Like, like those big horse type of people that don't do a goddamn thing.
Yep.
But she's definitely improved. I thought it was probably the second best match overall of the night. But no offense to Jade and Asuka, but it was the best women's match of the night by in my opinion.
Agreed.
But yeah, and the crowd liked it.
Yep, the crowd was hot.
We always said we talked about this stuff going into Saudi, and luckily everybody is fine. But the Saudi crowd is always awesome.
They brought it. They get better every time. They brought it. They brought it on Saturday. And again, we mentioned it. Those people that are actual fans that get to go to that show and be fans, I have no problem with them getting to see a WWE show. Good for them. I'm happy for them. It's the
government stuff.
Yes, it's the other stuff, which is
why
I'm
deserve a Royal Rumble. So I'm happy the crowd is getting it.
Yes.
I don't know about everything else, but
yes. What do you mean? The greatest Royal Rumble wasn't enough for them?
I guess not.
There's 50 guys in there.
They had one of the funniest moments of all time. Titus O'Neil falling into
one of the funniest and also one of the luckiest, because you know how much shit they keep under that ring. That guy could have died,
or he could have fell into the apron head first.
Lou, it's a PG show. Lou, god damn.
Got to pay. That's on the highest Patreon coming.
God, for the love of God,
you can't be giving away ass for free on.
Keep it together, bro.
Demonetized. We're broke.
Damn. Trying to pay some bills up in here. This guy's just flaunting it on stream.
Can't be doing that for free.
God, make them pay for it, Lou.
Exactly.
God. But yeah, I agree. But I very much enjoyed this match. But literally, there could have been all sorts of shit under that ring, and if Titus O'Neil would have, it could have gone ugly.
You don't see all those big ass toolboxes with like screwdrivers like this big and stuff under there. Like,
they could have been real ugly. Could have been real ugly. Oh, he's gonna cut. Yep, here we go. He's gonna knock so much shit over.
We should just do a podcast where you move and we just watch Lou do random things.
People would pay. They'd pay more to see that than they would me.
Oh yeah.
1000%. 1000%.
At some point, he's just launching.
Like we both need to know right now that nobody is paying attention to us.
No. And I'm
anybody watching this, nobody is paying attention.
Oh no. Okay, we've avoided disaster there.
He's getting out of here. He's going to open the door. Yep. See you later.
He's multi-talented, this Lou.
Look at this. Unbelievable. You see how quickly he opened that door quicker than I can.
I can't move that fast.
That is incredible. Anyway, enough.
We're talking about our athletic achievements on the last episode. Now it's about Lou.
Unmatched. Unmatched. All right. This went into Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, a match that Karrion Kross dominated. He literally.
We were speculating that we thought Sami was going to win because Karrion's overness might not relate to Saudi, but boy did it. They loved him there.
Oh, it did. Yep. And look, they love them some Sami Zayn as well.
Yeah. Everybody does.
But Karrion Kross, he was in control 85 to 90% of this match.
Oh yeah.
And I thought this match was pretty good.
Yeah. And Karrion took 11 bumps, by the way, for someone that doesn't take back bumps.
Yeah, it's crazy.
11 back bumps.
It's crazy. And as it seemed like Karrion, he started toying with Sami.
Mm-hmm.
It was clear that if he just wanted to finish things off, he probably could have.
He was more worried about getting into his head than winning.
Exactly. But he started taunting and, demanding that he admitted that he was right. And he started going all this stuff. And then he goes for one final attack. And Sami literally just kind of sprang up and hit the haluva kick out of nowhere and pinned him and beat him. Which tells me two things, and we saw it on Raw on Raw this past Monday. In the moment, I was like, "Oh, this is not over."
No,
because Kross dominated him, and Sami pulled out a miracle win. That tells me that we're at least getting another match where Sami will pull out a legitimate win, and then that will be kind of how we go about that. And then we saw on Monday in a backstage segment that Sami was getting interviewed, and Karrion Kross attacked him and beat the shit out of him. So clearly that is going to be continuing, which I'm all for. I am all for. I've liked this program. But I thought this match was solid, CJ.
It was a good match. Like you said, Karrion, it was more of that type of, he wants to win, but he's more, that's been Karrion's character too. He's worried about getting to you mentally. And we saw he doesn't have many matches, obviously, recently. He's just trying to get into people's heads, stuff like that. That obviously cost him here. But yeah, I'm assuming they're going to have another match, whether it's SummerSlam. They added to Saturday night's main event last second, maybe next Monday. Or what have you. But Sami's super over. Kross has been super over recently. And I think we both know this is way down the line here, but actually it's not as down the line as it seems. That's probably, he's going to win the Royal Rumble, Sami Zayn.
I've been saying this for months, CJ.
I know you have. You've been one of the first people on it, definitely.
I've been saying this for months. When he looked, and I even said it before this, when he looked at Seth Rollins, when Seth created that group, or turned, sided with Heyman after WrestleMania, that next Monday night, it was Seth and Sami throughout that whole show. And when Seth was telling him, go to SmackDown, I'll even make sure you have a world title shot, because I know that's the one thing that's eluded you. And when Sami cut that promo, when it was him and Seth, great promo by Sami, and he looked at him and he said, one day I will be world heavyweight champion.
And he'll beat Seth for it, because Seth has the briefcase.
At WrestleMania. Yep. So I expect Sami to win the Royal Rumble next year. I expect Seth to be the champion because he will cash in at some point. And I would expect, I know people are saying Braun Breaker could be that guy, and I think they teased it a little bit on Monday. I think that's further down the line for me. But I could see Sami winning the Rumble in Saudi. That crowd will go apeshit, and he deserves it as well. And I could see him and Seth.
We've seen everybody get their moments recently. Yeah. That seems to be a Triple H thing. He loves the long stories, obviously. But Cody obviously got his moment. Cena got his moment in his last match. Sami and, funnily enough, and KO got it against the Usos the year before that. It kind of seems to be someone finally gets their comeuppance at WrestleMania in one of the main events every year.
Yeah.
And
when you look at the history of WrestleMania, early on, like if you watch the first 12, 13, 14 WrestleManias and beyond that, but like that's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at the end of all the WrestleManias, it was the big evil guy losing to Hulk Hogan or whoever. Yeah, it was the good guy, not a real life.
On-screen good guy.
Yes, the on-screen hero beating the evil villain for the world title almost every time. Like that was, so.
And real quick, just to finish that story, I think Braun won't be the guy to take it off of Seth because Braun and Sammy already have something from the IC title. What was that, 6-7 months ago? Yeah. So I think that's a national first feud for Sammy as well.
Yeah, and after what we saw on Monday with that mashup theme between Braun and Bronson, give me that tag team right. They should run through Raw. They should absolutely run through Raw. But we'll talk about that in a smidge, because then you want to talk about something that I nailed, because I nailed this completely.
Mm-hmm.
Dead ringer, I nailed.
You did.
Solo Sikoa, the new United States champion. I thought this was the best match on the show, CJ. I mean, I thought this was real good. Him and Jacob Fatu looked like they were going to have the blow off to their feud. It was a good back and forth match, but it looked like Fatu was going to handle himself some business.
Mm-hmm.
We then saw not only a debut, which we'll talk about in a minute, we saw a returning Tungaloa show up, prevented Solo from losing. We saw JC come down, get involved a little bit as well. But even through those, it looked like Jacob Fatu was going to get the victory. He hit his jumping moonsault, and it looked like he was going to get the victory. But as I called it last week on this very show, I threw it out there. We officially saw the debut of Hikuleo. They didn't call him by his name, so I'm assuming he's going to get some sort of new name. Did. Well,
no,
I don't want.
No, that's not what happened on the taped episode. They put it on.
When did they say it?
Oh, what did they say? Put it. They announced it on like they do like those weird what are they called, digital exclusives?
Yeah,
Talatonga.
What is it? Tala?
Tala. They did it on one of those. They said he was brutally. He cost Jacob Fatu like one of those little.
Yeah.
It wasn't a spoiler, but as we're taping this episode of SmackDown coming up was taped right after Raw, because Triple H is giving everybody a week off. So we'll mention spoilers, not what happened, but we'll just mention there was a spoiler.
Yeah. If you've been on the interwebs,
there was a match made already for Saturday night's main event. We won't say who was involved. We won't give you anything.
Yeah.
But no, this wasn't a spoiler. This was just a digital thing, like the day after.
All right. That's good. That's good.
Talatonga will be his name.
All right. So we have Tamatonga, Tongaloa, and Talatonga.
We do. And JC, we won't say his last name on this program.
But again, so Jacob hits, and we see Hikuleo. He choke slams Fatu on top of the announce desk, tosses him back in the ring. Solo hits the spike, and Solo is your new United States champion. I thought this was a good piece of business because I think this just continued. Now Fatu can run through this whole group to get back to Solo for that title. I assume it would happen at SummerSlam, so it's not a lot of time for him to run through these guys. But yeah, so I expect this to kind of stay hot, stay heavy. I expect Jacob Fatu to be real pissed off come Friday on SmackDown, and I expect him to destroy,
absolutely murder somebody.
Yeah, everybody on his way back to Solo because he got screwed.
Just to wrap that up. It was during the post show. They had Solo on the post show talking to Byron and Jackie Redmond, I believe, and it says they have almost like an ESPN ticker during the post shows now.
Got it.
Like it says the results, and it said Solo Sikoa wins with the help of JC Mateo, a returning Tongaloa, and a debuting Talatonga. I don't know if you can kind of read that. Yeah, it says it on that bottom part though.
All right, fair enough.
So yeah, that's not a spoiler. That was revealed publicly.
Yeah.
By the company.
All right. How do you feel about Solo? How do you feel about what went down here?
I don't hate Solo as much as everybody. That seems like the cool thing to do now is to hate Solo Sikoa. As I've said on this program, Umaga is probably my second favorite wrestler of all time. So obviously natural comparisons there. So yeah, but I think he's one of the funniest people on the roster naturally. When they let him talk, so I think he can do some funny stuff with the U.S. title. And we both agree Jacob Fatu is too good for the U.S. title. No offense to the U.S. title, but he needs to be doing bigger things.
I agree.
So I think they'll have one more match. He'll lose again, regardless of how the problem is. Maybe Hikuleo now is the one that costs them, just again, and then Jacob beats him and then moves on. He says, "I'm done." Type of thing. I don't know how they get there, but again, I don't get paid as much Triple H to figure that out.
It's fair. It's fair. And then it was time for the Queen of the Ring final, and it was Jade Cargill versus Asuka. And I don't know. I did not pick Jade Cargill to win this match. I picked Asuka to win this match. I still think we're gonna get. I still think we're gonna get Asuka and Io at SummerSlam. Like I do think that will be the match at SummerSlam. However, I didn't like this match that much.
But, well, let's just be frank here. We're trying to beat around the bush sometimes. The crowd absolutely shit on this match.
Now, and again, I don't pay attention to a lot of the outside of the TV show type shit. Did Jade say something about Saudi? I heard, did she?
No, they just shit on her, and people had some, as you could probably guess, what the reasoning behind that was.
Fair.
And then once she got like, I don't know if someone said something specifically, but something was said in the crowd that she didn't like on her way out. They didn't show this on camera. It was like fan footage, and she like kind of cooked one of the people in the crowd, like, "Your mom was a bitch" or something like that. Like,
okay.
But you could tell like it wasn't just like someone must have said something that she did not like. So she kind of directed that comment at a specific person.
Okay.
But yeah, wasn't the best match of all time.
No. Again, I'm seeing people.
I love both of them, by the way. Too.
Oh yeah, I love Asuka.
So it's like again, Jade Cargill's not Bryan Danielson in the ring, but she's not garbage by any means. No, and some people just don't have good chemistry. That's just they can be two good wrestlers. It doesn't matter.
And I thought Asuka clearly was carrying the match. Jade was really there to hit her spots and get the victory and get the hell out of there.
Right.
And I thought Asuka, again, they both did fine.
Right.
I thought Asuka did a really good job of like carrying the match and figuring it out. Yeah. And I thought Jade looked good. Her outfit was incredible.
She always looks. She should be the biggest star in the history of professional wrestling.
Like she just looked incredible. Yeah, and her with the crown, it fits. I don't know. I was just, for some reason, once we got to this final, I was like, I just didn't think Jade was going to win. I thought Naomi would figure out a way to screw her, but most likely Naomi will do that in her title match. And that'll be that, I guess. Right?
And then Naomi will get the title eventually with cashing in, and then we'll get Jade Naomi at SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, one of those.
Do you think that Naomi cashes in and just takes the belt during the Jade title match, or do you think Jade wins it and Naomi cashes it in?
That's what I think. And then I think Jade ends up getting the win over her at, again, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, one of the pay-per-views. Premium live events, excuse me. How dare I?
And then if you want, listen, I will fantasy book you to WrestleMania right now if you guys want. You have Jade Cargill in that title match against Tiffany at SummerSlam. Either way you want to do it, whether Jade actually beats Tiffany and then Naomi cashes in on Jade, or Naomi comes out and cashes in, whatever. Sure. Naomi leaves SummerSlam as the women's champion.
Okay.
Then Jade gets the title back from Naomi at the Royal Rumble the same night that Bianca Belair wins the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And then you got Bianca Belair and Jade
win the Royal Rumble?
You could. But I think Bianca's going to get involved with this here at some point. And I think Bianca and Jade one-on-one for the title at Mania next year. Again, I would prefer Bianca and Rhea because I really think that is like the biggest match they have in the whole company that they haven't had yet.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, that is the first women's match that main events night 2 of WrestleMania if they do Rhea and Bianca.
I think if it was going to happen with the 2-night WrestleMania women's main event, which again we're not against here, but it seems like the company is for whatever reason, it would be this. Well, I guess technically next year, but this WrestleMania because you're not gonna have a Cena. Cody's already done Roman twice and Cena.
Yep.
He won't have a bigger profile match.
Yep.
It's impossible to have one over Roman or Cena's final Mania.
Yep.
You don't have that level of person to give, we assume, Cody, the night 2 bona fide. Could they have a match big enough to warrant?
Yeah, for sure. They could sell. Yeah.
Right. But if you understand my point, you could do a Bianca. If Bianca and Jade is booked properly, that could headline. No one's. The entrances and the spectacle of those two coming out and how they're gonna look in their gear and stuff. Please, that's night 2 written all over.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Bianca, Jade, obviously both easily could do night 2. If there's gonna be a women's night 2, I think it's WrestleMania 42.
Yeah, I could see it happening. And then that led us to our main event. Whole bunch of bullshit happened at the end of this match.
It's a John Cena match.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a John Cena match.
But it was John Cena.
It was
defeating and retaining his World Heavyweight Championship by defeating CM Punk via pinfall. Overall, though, I thought this was a fun time.
I think the Cena bullshit matches are getting a little more entertaining by the...
I agree.
The WrestleMania was a debacle. I'm a Travis Scott fan of music. I don't need him fucking in my goddamn WrestleMania main event.
That was one of the worst WrestleMania main events.
I think you could agree to whoever your favorite band is. You don't want them fucking taking out Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. No. And then the R-Truth return was fantastic. And then this, I think it's gone garbage to pretty good to okay. Now we're doing something here.
Yeah.
Now we're doing something. It's got progressively better. And I think that has also been Cena as a heel has gone progressively better. Obviously, with a pipe bomb for like 8 minutes the other night of SmackDown. I think it's gone progressively better.
And I think that's, listen, we know how great John Cena is. We know he's an actor. We know all that stuff. But this is the first time the dude's been working heel in 20 years.
Yeah.
So, like, there needs to be a little bit of wiggle room for him to figure the shit out. You know what I mean? And I think now this is on the precipice earlier in the show. We were talking about him turning babyface again at SummerSlam in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever the hell it is. But
it's just, we get no goddamn time in between these big shows, huh?
No. They got to, hopefully they start, they got to spread it out. After this run, I would hope they spread it out a bit.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Who knows?
I understand they're trying to pack in Cena things right now, so.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, again, I thought this match was good. They started off chain wrestling, these two dudes, which was a good time.
There's one spot I have to mention if you don't mention it.
Oh, go ahead. You mention it right now.
The callback to Cena just obliterating Charles Robinson.
Yeah.
That's a callback, obviously, to Money in the Bank when Vince came down with what's his face?
Yep.
And Cena
Laurinaitis.
He just crushed him this time.
Yeah, he gave him like the Monty Brown pounce.
Yeah, just
went flying.
Him. And did you see the thing of he was laying there for like 45 minutes, Charles Robinson?
Yeah,
unbelievable.
But this was really good. They started doing the thing where I want to say that Punk kicked out of 3 attitude adjustments. I think it was
3. Yep.
Cena kicked out of 2 GTSs. Mm-hmm. So they did all that stuff, and then in typical John Cena fashion, we were heading to the end, and Punk hits a GTS. Looks like he has the match won, but the referee is out because this was the first referee that was accidentally taken out by Cena in like a back elbow or shoulder or something like that. Seth Rollins' music hits, and it's like, okay,
is he going to cash? The most leisure stroll ever.
Yeah, he's like, is this it? Is he going to cash in right here? Like, what's going on? The whole crew is with them. They make their way to the ring. He sends Braun and Bronson to the ring. They attack Punk. Punk is trying to fight off both guys, but they put Punk through the commentary table. Rollins is in the ring and calls a referee in the ring, and that's when the Charles Robinson spot happens that you just talked about. And then Cena then at that point is looking at Rollins like, "Hey man, I understand that you have this briefcase, but you're not supposed to fuck me over.
You have a problem with this guy, not me."
Yeah, like you got an issue with him. You don't got an issue with me. Like, stay the fuck out of my shit. Like, I'm trying to, And so Rollins then tries to hit Cena with the Money in the Bank briefcase, but Rollins gets an attitude adjustment. Then Breakker and Bronson Reed attack Cena. Penta's music hits. And then Sami Zayn's music hits, so they both come out to kind of even the odds. But Braun Breaker starts to get the best of Penta. Punk kind of gets back to the ring. He shoves Bronson Reed off the top rope as he was going to hit a what the hell's he call it? Tsunami. Yep. Cena then hits Bronson Reed, which was impressive, with an attitude adjustment. And then this was what, we talked about kind of babyface things with John Cena. So they both kind of take out Seth and his goons, right? and then they're standing across from each other. And this was kind of meant to be the moment of like, hey, this is in my opinion, this is the last time that these two guys are going to be, like this.
Squaring off.
Yes. And, and so Punk sticks out his hand for a handshake, and Cena shakes it. And then Cena pulls him in for a hug, and then he tries to do the low blow.
Well, we get the little smirk thing that he did when he turned on Rhodes with The Rock.
Yeah,
so he
brings him in for a thing, and then he gets that face, and it's like, here we go. Goes for the low blow. Punk catches the foot, goes for another GTS, but Rollins hits Punk with the briefcase, and then he hits a stomp. He throws, and then Cena throws Rollins out of the ring, and he pins Punk 1, 2, 3 to retain the title. Far and away the best match of Cena's retirement tour, and I feel like we've been saying that about every match.
That's always progressively better.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like every match we're like, that was the best one.
Cena's too good not to get the groove of it eventually.
Yeah, I agree. It was good. It felt like, at times, it felt like an old school wrestling match.
Yeah.
But but then it ended the way it ended, and then everything went nuts. But I thought it was good. I thought if this is the last one, which I think it is, I think it's a good finale to their feud. In my opinion, I said it last week. This is his greatest rival to me, Punk and Cena. This is their best feuds, for both of them. Yeah, man. It's just one of those things. We're seeing all these matches with Cena. He's standing across the ring with Randy, and even though, I respect the hell out of both those guys, and they're two of the. I know how we feel. Oh, we don't have our lists today. Do we have our lists?
No, we don't. I was already thinking about that when we mentioned it earlier.
Damn it! We got to do that next week. We got to do it next week. I know you're not as high on Randy as others, but they're two of the all-time greats. They're first ballot Hall of Famers.
Yep.
And it's two of John Cena's biggest rivalries. And when you kind of see it for the last time, even though it's not at the height and not at they're not at their best anymore. It does give you the emotions.
And they're still good enough to do something.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like they're just completely trash.
No, but they're not in their prime anymore, none of these guys. But, yeah, it was just one of those things where, like, they did that moment with the handshake, and even before that, when they were looking at each other and doing the slow walk to the center of the ring, like, even me, who's, there's stone building around this heart over here. Okay. But even me, I was kind of like, oh, damn, I was like, all right, there it is.
The one thing I enjoyed, and we've talked about this feud ad nauseum, so I'll keep it short. But the one thing I enjoyed about this match specifically is when I know what's happening. I mean, obviously I don't know, but you have a good idea of who's going to lose a title when some of the time, especially when it's a Roman, when it's a Cena, when it's a Cody. They're not going to lose that backlash against Logan Paul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Cena was probably retaining here. But there was a second you thought, are they going to do it with Punk, or is he really cashing in here? So they kind of got me with all three possible endings, which I can appreciate at this point. For a second, I believed all three things.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I agree. All right. So that was Night of Champions. And then a couple nights later, we had Raw, which was the Fallout. And I'm going to be honest with you. I really liked that episode of Raw. I thought it was good. I thought there was a lot of great wrestling.
I really enjoyed the time it was on, I must say.
Let me tell you. Raw ending before 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Bless. But I thought there were some standout matches on the show. The Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough. I would say, in a shocking twist, became the World Tag Team Champions again. Man, what a terrible reign for the New Day.
And nothing to do with them either.
No, they're great. They're great. But what the hell?
Real quick, we'll get back to the New Day. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
I mean, we can talk about them right now.
But the difference between the SmackDown and the Raw Tag Team divisions are unbelievable. But just so I don't forget to mention this, on the Judgment Day, when Finn and JD were kind of celebrating, we got the news by but both general managers were in town tonight. And they informed that Roxanne will be replacing Liv Morgan, as that's not we speculated, but it was confirmed obviously tonight or Monday. Excuse me.
Yeah, it was actually Finn's idea.
Finn's idea. There's something going on there. Obviously, we'll get to that. And there was a match made for Evolution, which we don't know any of the other participating teams. Which we do. Again, that was a spoiler. If you know, you know. If not, we won't mention it. Yes. One of the teams were made on the ensuing episode of SmackDown, but the other two, which will be from, what did they mention? NXT, and then what's the other one from?
And Raw.
Another one from Raw, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be for Evolution in only 10 days from now. So.
Yeah, which is awesome, and I think having a Fatal 4-Way is a hell of a good time. I'm trying to think of who now.
I wish one of the teams were from TNA and they did the Iconics.
That would have been fun.
Unbelievable.
That would have been fun. But could the Iconics somehow end up on an episode of NXT next week and win it? Team? I don't think so. I think it's going to be Sol Ruca and Zarya would be my guess.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. It's going to be Sol Ruca and Zarya. The Raw team.
The SmackDown team, we will not spoil, but it has been set.
I don't know. I don't know. CJ knows. I don't like spoilers.
I was updating myself, and I didn't look at the SmackDown spoilers. I was just getting the cards up, to be frank with you, a little backstage here, just so I could have a refresher on what has been made official, so we could talk about it. And I accidentally looked at. I completely forgot. JPJ didn't even know SmackDown was pre-taped. That's why Raw was so early live.
Yeah.
So they could tape both episodes and not be 2:00 in the morning for the crowd in attendance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's only two teams to be actually determined: one NXT and one Raw. Who do you think from Raw? You got to put your money on it. It could be a make. They love a good makeshift.
I was thinking Natalya and Maxine. I know that's not the sexiest of picks, but what else?
I'm all for Natalya. What other spun on an Evolution?
But again, I don't know who they are, but I do know that the SmackDown team is a makeshift team.
Right.
So they could do that on Raw.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, they
Triple
could
H
do that
seems
on.
to love a good makeshift.
Yeah, so he could do that. However, I think, especially if they're probably not going to win the match.
No, they're not.
Why not just give Maxine and Natalya? Like, they're clearly an on-screen duo. They, just give it to them. Who cares?
Do you think there's a chance of Sol and Zarya win the match if they're in it?
With Sol still being the North American champion down there, I'd say no.
I wouldn't hate it.
I would think Roxanne and Raquel. I think Roxanne and Raquel.
You don't know the other team though, so I don't know if you can say that.
I have a guess of who it could be, but I don't want you to tell me. But I think they've been teasing Alexa Bliss and Charlotte being friendly. Okay. I think that's something they could do. They've been on screen the last 2 or 3 weeks, and that technically would be a makeshift team. Right. I don't think that's the team they picked. Okay. I'm trying to think of who else.
What would if it would, we'll see an Alexa Charlotte type. What would the Raw equivalent of that be? You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is the mid card on Raw and the ladies division is incredible right now with Becky, Lyra, and Bayley.
Sure.
And all what's going on there. So we already
Bayley
know.
And Lyra?
No, because they don't like each other right now.
But they're both faces. Who cares?
It could be Bayley and Lyra. I could see that happening, but not really because they're gonna have the triple threat at Evolution for the title, for the IC title.
Oh yeah.
Because Bayley and Lyra had a good match on Monday night.
That's what they should not have a Raw. That should be the Raw team as Raquel and Roxanne.
That's what I think.
Have a damn Impact team. What are we doing?
That would have been fun. Or even do an Evolve team. Figure it out. I don't care.
What's you can't have Evolve champion. Oh, she looks like the next big. Oh my goodness, she looks incredible.
Yeah. So to me, it's wouldn't Raw and I get it. You're gonna have because they're the champs, so they can technically float, right? So they're. But they are though. They should be the Raw team. The champions of the Raw team. If they lost
the titles, they're both on Raw, so they should be the Raw team.
Yeah, but they're gonna do another team. So when I think about the Raw, could you do Kairi Sane and Asuka?
You could. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, you could do Kairi and Asuka, I guess.
Who else is even available?
I'm telling you, Natty and
That's it though, because Bayley, those three are locked
Bayley, Becky, and Lyra are locked up.
Obviously, Liv's not available. You're not doing Rhea and anybody.
Well, Rhea's fighting Neo.
She's not available.
Yeah.
Io's obviously not available.
Yeah.
It's Kyrie, Asuka, Natalia, and Maxine. Ivy Nile, I guess? She's hurt, though,
Ivy Nile, yeah. No, Ivy Nile's there.
not hurt?
She's running the Judgment Day now because Chad Gable's hurt.
Yeah, right. But so she intertwined somewhere with the Judgment Day, so she causes them to lose or something, I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe.
Could another team win? I don't know who's another winnable team out of those, is the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of who else they could even, like, just throw in there, maybe, on the women's side on Raw.
They could have whoever cost Roxanne and Raquel lose, have an Iconics or something win it, have them defend it on NXT and lose it, or something. It's so easy. I don't understand why we just gotta force another makeshift Raw tag team in there. Just it doesn't make any sense to me. Especially when you publicly, it's not just like under the table a partnership with TNA. You've announced it. Your superstar won their world title.
Yep.
Like, it's clearly an obvious partnership. Just fucking, and especially John, the owner of the Hive here, would lose his absolute mind if the Iconics came out.
Oh yeah.
And so would everybody. Everybody loves the Iconics. They're the R-Truth of the women's division.
I agree. I'm trying to look to see who else is on Raw here. So yeah, there's Asuka, Bayley, Becky Lynch. Oh God. Yeah, there's not much left. I'm scrolling down, but there's not much left on the Raw side for people that. Oh yeah, Ivy Nile. That's another one.
Io, Kyrie, Kiana James, but she's hurt. Liv's obviously hurt. Lyra's wrapped up. Maxine, we mentioned. Natalia, we mentioned. Roxanne and Raquel wrapped up.
Kyrie Sane, obviously.
And then Stephanie is available, I guess.
Oh, Stephanie is available, but I'm expecting her to win the Battle Royal.
Right.
At Evolution.
Yep. And then Zoe's unavailable, obviously. Shout out to her. That's still a horrible injury.
Yeah, truly.
There's no one else available.
On Raw, no. On the Raw women's side of things, no, because a lot of the women here are on SmackDown. I guess you could do Scarlett if you wanted Scarlett, but I mean, who's she going to team with? Who the
hell is she teaming with?
Yeah, really. So, yeah, I really don't know.
I don't know why it should just be a quote-unquote wild card team. Add an Impact team, or that way you can leave the door open and change it last second if you really need to.
Yeah.
You could obviously do the two with Chelsea.
That's what that was my original pick. When they announced this match, my original pick was Raquel and Roxanne, Zarya and Sol Ruca, Maxine and Natalia, and the Secret Hervis. That's who I thought it was going to be.
Like you said, they've been teasing Alexa Charlotte. You have the Secret Hervis. You have about 3 or 4 easy teams you can put together or something on SmackDown. You're not going to use none of them?
Well, no, because they're going to put 2 stars together in a makeshift team, like there were so many teams that could have fought for the.
Loves that.
Yeah, he did it at WrestleMania.
He loves
that. They had, and again, I love Lyra and I really love Bayley. On that SmackDown before WrestleMania, they had a makeshift team of Lyra and Bayley who literally just teamed that night.
Yeah.
They had them run through every women's tag team on the roster. Established. Had them just run right through them and get that match at WrestleMania, and then obviously that's turned into a great angle. So I'm not complaining about it. But
I don't mind a makeshift if it's in this format. If it's in a fatal 4-way and the whole card is women, obviously that takes down the amount of women that are available. If you're doing this on a SummerSlam, you have 8 men's matches, so you have plenty more women available. This, every single woman is on every single match is women. So obviously, again, like it knocks down the list of availability. So I don't mind a makeshift. Yeah. If it also, you can make it lead to something. They just lose. Obviously, they're not a team. They lose their mind. One of them turns on each other, and then they go. There's the next match. But that's why I think you do Raquel, Roxanne. Obviously, you do an NXT, whoever the hell you want, Sol and Zarya, and then you do a SmackDown tag team, and then a wild card. You could put a makeshift Raw and a makeshift SmackDown woman together, a TNA, another NXT, and all SmackDown. It leaves the door open.
Yeah.
Now we whittled. It has to be one of 2 of those 4 people we named.
I mean, there's nobody else.
Everybody's booked to her.
Unless they can work something out, and it is someone like the Bellas or something like that.
Well, yeah, because it looked like it was going to be Nikki and Liv.
It was Nikki and Liv. That's what it was going to be. But
the women's tag champions weren't going to be on the show.
Because what else is Nikki gonna do now? Is she just gonna? She's too good, not too good, but like she's, in my opinion, like is she gonna be in the battle royal? No, she needs a bigger spot than that. Unless I guess if she wins it, I guess.
Well, and then as of now, again, SmackDown has been recorded, but that's the only spoiler I know is there was something with the tag. But what is Tiffany doing right now? What is has Trish has been rumored but not announced? I don't. Has she been officially announced?
Trish was reported that she was in the building on Monday in Pittsburgh. So I don't know if she did something on SmackDown.
I have not. On Raw, though.
She didn't do anything on Raw, but I don't know if she was there for SmackDown stuff. I don't know.
They've had Trish and Tiffany. Could that be a makeshift team? You know what I mean?
I mean, well, they teamed before. They did team before. That's my point.
And that wouldn't be a makeshift. You know what I mean? They have a little bit of history together.
Yeah, but are we okay with what? Are you going to have your women's world champion not win the tag titles and lose in a match like that?
But that's my point, though. They put themselves into a hole now, announcing it has to be one SmackDown and one Raw. Think of this. We had Impact has 174 knockouts that are all incredible. Most of them. Any of those, you have 7 teams right there. You could just put into that. You could have it even intertwined on a Thursday episode of Impact. Have a battle royal there between 4 or 5 teams. The winner gets a spot for the tag titles.
Yeah.
It has to be Kyrie and Oscar, Maxine and Natalia. There's no one else on Raw.
Yeah. I don't know.
Even if it was a Tiffany and a Trish, that's not a Raw team.
No. Tiffany's a SmackDown champion.
And Trish is on nothing.
Yeah.
And the Bellas aren't on anything. So that's not a Raw team.
Listen, this is what you do. You have Natalia and Maxine.
I'm not mad at Natalia again. She should be on every Evolution.
And then Natalia gets pissed and she turns into Natty and she destroys Maxine, and then we get the Natty character on WWE television. That's all I need.
There you go.
If you give me that,
there's usually one Natty character that you know is not gonna win.
Yeah, and that's fine. If you give me that Natty character on WWE television, and if you just do that on I'm telling you, Natty will be an overwhelming fan. Like people will be all in on that character. Tremendous. Yep. You know what else? What I liked a lot.
They booked themselves in a corner, but we'll figure that out. Hopefully by the next episode, we know who that team is.
Yep. Rusev and Sheamus on Monday night.
Speaking of big men slapping meat here.
Oh, they beat the shit out of each other. It was wonderful.
A lot of meat flying.
Oh. My kind of match. My kind of match, CJ. My kind of match. Absolutely beat the piss out of each other. You all right? Are you there? Are you frozen?
I just flickered off for some reason.
All right.
Can you see me?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, this match ruled.
It did.
And the whole time it was happening, I was like, give me a best of 7. Give me a best of 5.
Tweeted, wasn't Biggie? Someone tweeted we need a best of 7. I forgot who it was.
Yep. I wouldn't even care if they did the same thing that they did with Sheamus and Cesaro, where they do a best of 7 and then they become a tag team. Fine with it.
That tag team. Put that in the.
They've already been in a
makeshift tag team.
They've already been in a They've already been in a group together. They referenced in a Raw multiple times. They actually mentioned shithead Alberto Del Rio's name by name on Raw. Better be the only time we fucking hear that name.
Unless it's he's a piece of shit.
Unless it's him. Listen, I don't ever root for anybody to lose their job, but unless it's him being future endeavored. That's the only
we've talked about how much that AAA crowd fucking loves that guy. So we talked
like
about
he's a fucking hero. He's a hero to them. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
But this match ruled. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. The tag match with the New Day and the Judgment Day. The Battle of the Days. The Battle of the Days.
It was a good day.
That match fucking ruled as well. There was some legitimate. Everyone's gonna think I'm doing drugs. I'm just sick as shit. And I've been dying all week, but I've been I've been doing this all show, and like everyone's gonna be like, "What's he doing?"
Well, see, that Sheamus Rusev match got him excited. He's a little excited right now.
I was so elated that you would have thought maybe I did.
Maybe he did some drugs. He was running around the house like he just did some.
Literally, ripped my shirt off. It was amazing.
We've already seen how much we've spoke about your athletic achievements. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. All right. But yeah, that was a great match. Go watch it. Rusev did get the victory, as he should have. But I'm telling you right now, that is how Rusev. That is the Rusev we should see all the time. That is who Rusev is. That will get Rusev over. That's what got Rusev over in AEW with this character. It's just him. That is who he is.
Correct.
Let him do that. He should be doing that weekly. Weekly.
He should.
Incredible. And Sheamus is just First ballot.
Really.
First ballot. No debate.
On everything.
Like
1,000
just
times over.
needs to win the IC title just to give him the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know what we got to talk about before we get out of here? This Grande Americano.
What are the chances that he gets hurt?
Justice for Chad Gable. That's what we saw on Monday.
We did. We sure did.
Because Chad Gable has a backstage segment with the American Made, and he's in a sling, which is a real legit injury.
Off-screen injury. Yep.
Yes.
Real injury.
So he has to have surgery. He's going to be out for a little bit.
He had successful surgery. He did announce.
Oh, he already did.
Instagram.
Yep. All right. So he's going to be out for a bit. And they did a thing where he was talking to the troops, and he said, hey, Creed brothers, everyone talks about your tag title potential. Enough with potential. Go do it.
Go fulfill that potential. Yep.
And then he told them, he goes, hey, while I'm gone, listen to Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
He said, listen to Ivy. So I don't know if that means that Ivy's going to be like, they're going to kind of raise her profile a little bit, make her like the de facto lead. I would not hate that at all.
As we just talked about, the mid card on Raw and the women's division get another one in there.
Yeah, I would not hate that at all. And then Adam Pearce walks into frame. He kind of talks to Gable and he goes, is it safe to say that we won't be seeing El Grande Americano around either?
That's weird that he would just.
And again, just the accusations and the
fuck
insinuation.
By the way, wants to keep announcing
unbelievable,
ridiculous.
So he says that, and Chad Gable goes, I don't know, man. He's one of the best luchadors in the world. I don't know where he is. Blah, 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 blah.
Why would Chad Gable know where he's at?
Yeah, they're not this. We literally saw that they were in the same spot at the same time.
Because one time never went back to. He loaned his boots out because El Grande forgot his stuff.
Just being a good guy. Just being a good guy.
Because he's a nice American man. You know?
So
ridiculous.
A little bit later on, Ivy Nile is in the back talking with the Creeds. And out of nowhere, we see El Grande Americano show up. Looked a little taller.
They used new cameras, I think they said.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Or that 8K?
Because of the double taping, they used the SmackDown cameras, and you don't see El Grande on SmackDown.
Yeah. I mean, same chiseled physique. He looked great.
Exactly.
I was just like, he looked like he's taller. They shooting him from like a low angle. It was weird. But so El Grande Americano, he's not going to be away as a lot of people thought he might. Which he
shouldn't. He has no relation to Chad Gable.
He's the speed champion.
That'd be if you had to miss an episode of this. Like, I'm gone too. If you're on vacation, I'm on vacation. We have no relation to each other.
Yeah. What does that mean? You know? So I wanted to throw that out there. And then the absolute last thing that we'll talk about before we get out of here is I thought the Gunther, Seth Rollins, that whole thing was incredible. That whole segment was incredible. Gunther comes out. I thought the promo that he cut about Goldberg, and I love the fact that he calls him Bill Goldberg. I like how he doesn't just call him Goldberg. He calls him Bill Goldberg, like to almost demean him a little bit.
Fuck him, by the way, for lying about. We thought he was from Atlanta this whole time. Piece of shit.
Adopted home.
Oklahoma.
Adopted home of Atlanta, Georgia.
Unbelievable.
Well, he played for the Falcons, right? Is that what did he play for the Falcons?
And he went to the university. He was the Bulldog.
Yeah, he was Georgia, right? Yeah. So Gunther is just great when he's talking about Goldberg. He says, we all saw the highlight reel that they showed earlier in the show. It's violent, brutal, destructive. He left a mark on every opponent he ever stepped in. Oh, one thing about that highlight reel. That highlight reel, this is a quote. They said that Goldberg was the greatest WCW champion of all time.
No, we're not going to even address that.
Excuse me? Goldberg.
You know how I feel about William.
What, Triple H, you are good. I don't know if he still is. Ric Flair, and again, not personal. This is wrestling. Ric Flair is one of Triple H's lifelong mentors and friends. You're going to sit there and make a video package? Dude, Lou's disgusted. You see how quickly Lou got out?
As soon as you said Goldberg, got the fuck out.
He's like, I'm out. I can't.
I'm almost close to walking through that door as well.
That's how disgusted you should have saw him when they were airing the vignette. He was done.
He almost ran out of the house.
He did. He went and took a shit. Is what he did. He took a shit.
He went to go take a Goldberg. Someone said.
And he said, "That's what I think of that." They
should.
said he was the greatest WCW. What?
We're just
Sting.
I have nothing to talk about.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
piece of shit, but again, better.
Yeah,
champion.
but still.
Right.
What?
We're talking about some not great people here, by the way.
And I'm not even that anti-Goldberg, but what are we talking about?
An insane comment.
Anyway.
I get it, though. You're trying to hype it up.
Yeah, I get it.
Whatever.
But still, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But anyway. Goldberg says that Bill can't beat, and he just kept calling him Bill. And I was just like, this is fucking rules. He goes, Bill can't beat me. He goes, I can beat Bill in under 3 minutes, but that's not my goal. My goal is to take my time, to blow him up, to outclass him, to tear him apart.
I got a little. I'll be honest. I got a little aroused during this.
How can you not?
I couldn't stay. Luckily, I was by myself. It was fine. It was something. Something was going on.
And he says he wants to embarrass him in front of everything and everyone near and dear to him. He goes, I heard Goldberg says he doesn't like bullies. So too bad, because he bumped into the biggest bully around. And he goes, at Saturday night's main event, I'm going to bully him, push him around, and treat him like a piece of crap. And there's nothing he can do about it.
Yes.
He goes, we're all guessing if Bill still has it. Well, he's going to be exposed that he never had it. Oh. And then he goes, and after Bill Goldberg, I'll be on him to raise the question, who's next for the ring general?
I started pouring sweat when he was talking like this. I had to take my shirt off. It was, wow. Whew.
Good. Listen.
Unbelievable.
Gunther is...
Even if, like, you don't hate Goldberg like I do, you were probably getting aroused during this.
Goldberg, I'm sorry, Gunther is he's unbelievable.
One of your best, one of your goats.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Hard not to.
And I feel like because he doesn't do promos like week in, week out,
it makes him more legit. Like
it makes him more legit. But he's a great fucking promo.
I think it also he could do it every week, but it helps that he doesn't do it every week.
I think so. It adds to the mystique.
It's like, when he's talking, he's fucking pissed. Like
yeah. I just think the way that they've treated Gunther during the IC title reign, his first world title reign, and now they treat him like
Roman during his run almost.
Yeah, he's not the champion that is he's there every week, but he's not the champion that comes out to cut a long promo every week.
He doesn't wrestle every week.
They treat him like he's special.
He's a special attraction that's full time still.
Yes, yes, exactly. He is there all the time, but they still treat him like every time you see him, it's special. Oh shit, Gunther! Like it's a special thing, and they don't do that enough with the rest of the big people on the roster.
Just dancing in the crowd. That's his thing, but he's dancing in the crowd every week. He's having a match every week. He's doing the same promo every week.
Like if you spread that out and Jey Uso's wrestling once every 3 weeks, he's missing a show here or there. It adds to the level of oh shit, yeah, Jay wasn't on the show last week. Oh, good to see Jay.
Good to see him. Right. What does he have to say? Yeah.
Exactly. And they do that with Gunther in such a way that even though we see him almost weekly in some form, it feels special. Like he's a special attraction, and Gunther, they don't really. It's just incredible.
Booking thing. I don't think Triple H has fucked up one thing about.
I agree.
He has been perfectly booked, in my opinion.
I agree. I wouldn't have had him lose to Jay, but I completely understand why he had to.
It's a WrestleMania comeuppance moment we talked about. Everybody has one now. Everybody has one.
Yeah, and Jay, I don't think it worked out well. I think it went the way that some of us thought it would go. But at the end of the day, Jay getting himself that over in that bloodline story. Sometimes you just look. I don't believe that. I don't think anything is deserved.
Right.
But sometimes you earn shit, and Jay earned that. Earned that.
And it seems like he's cleaning up his life off screen as well, which is good. Obviously, the most important thing. So it's nice to see him have his moment. He's doing well.
Yeah.
But Gunther is that guy. He's that motherfucking guy.
Now, listen, this is in no way meant to be a failure or anything on Jey Uso's part, but can we get the Usos back, please? Can we get the Usos back?
I'm all with that, please.
Can we move Jimmy to Raw, and can I get babyface Usos versus heel New Day in a different way? Give me it. We've seen it 1,000 times, but we've never seen it with the New Day being the bad guys and Usos being the good guys.
You don't need to. That can be one feud that you can't just start out of nowhere for no fucking reason.
Just have the
Not one person's gonna bitch either. Not a single person. And if you do, fuck you.
Yep, you're not going to bitch at all. Nope. And the matches are gonna fucking rule.
That match will be the best match of whatever card it's on.
Correct. And we talk about the Raw tag team division and how it needs a jolt. I think the Usos would give it a jolt.
And New Day being regularly on screen and wrestling and cutting promos.
Yes. And then you add Braun and Bronson. You bring the Usos back. You can call up another team from
Who
NXT.
knows now, since we have confirmation, Chad Gable and El Grande Americano could do something together. Who knows?
Chad's hurt, but yes.
When he comes back.
Yeah.
Since finally we're seeing that he's not the same person, which we knew.
I still hold
real Hoopers knew.
Yeah. I'm glad that Chad Gable got some gratification.
I am too.
That's the wrong word. Justification?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was justified in saying
everyone has been shitting on Chad Gable for months that he was Grande Americano. Yeah. And that he was Grande Americano. Well, guess what? Y'all get pie in your faces now again.
And he had to get hurt for months for it to happen. So thank you guys for that.
Again.
Hope you're happy about that bullshit.
Ridiculous.
I would say the crowd and commentary has gotten Chad Gable hurt, I would say.
Yeah.
They're happy he's hurt, I think. Some would say.
100%.
Piece of shit. Piece of garbage.
So Gunther cuts that promo on Bill. And then after that, Seth Rollins comes out. And he's with Paul Heyman. And Seth Rollins had a nice new stylized
black and gold briefcase.
I liked it. It looked good. It looked beautiful.
He's probably not cashing anytime soon now.
No, and you can also, which in typical WWE form, you can buy it and give them more money.
Which you should. They missed an opportunity when Naomi not to do a Glow one, not to do the Glow titles for sale.
Yep.
But I'm glad they're cashing on that. Which no pun intended, cashing in. There you go.
Yep. So Rollins gets on the mic. He congratulates Gunther before reminding him and all of us that he's here to make sure. He said, "Hey, He goes, "I was there to make sure that CM Punk doesn't hold a world title." Mm-hmm. He goes, and that Money in the Bank will be an all-out assault on both titles. So again, congrats, champ. Then CM Punk comes out, and CM Punk is not messing around. Nope. He attacks Seth. They start brawling. Rollins retreats through the crowd. Punk is like on the apron yelling at Rollins, and then Punk goes to leave. And this is what I loved because it foreshadowed so much shit. Sure Punk goes to leave, and Gunther kind of grabs Punk's arm, and Punk shoves him. And Gunther, I don't know if he was supposed to fall or if he actually misstepped, but it worked to perfection.
We'll pretend he was supposed to.
Yeah, he pushes Gunther, and Gunther falls over. And Gunther's kind of staring, and Punk yells something at him, and then Punk leaves. And then we get a view up to Seth again, and Seth is laughing and doing whatever. And then we see LA Knight come from the concourse. I think he's eating popcorn, or he's eating a big gulp. I think he had a big gulp, maybe.
Soda,
yeah. And he's just standing behind Seth, and then he attacks Seth, and they go and they just attack all in the concourse. The fans were there. Good spot. We did find out later on in the evening that LA Knight and Seth Rollins will be happening at Saturday night's main event. And then the last thing about this was we also had a backstage altercation between CM Punk and LA Knight, which I fucking loved.
Again, this is going to be a Triple H fucking Glaze episode, which I don't want it to be, but he does a great job of keeping main event storylines completely open.
Yeah.
He'll have 4 or 5 guys like, do we get Gunther Punk? Do we get Punk Rollins again? Do we get Punk? Like, we have 7 other options. Do we have a fatal 4-way? You know, it's just, I love that. So and I'm fine with any combination of these 4 fighting each other.
100%. 100%. And Punk, you know, he tells LA Knight, he goes, "Hey, stay out of my way." He goes, "Get to the back of the line and stay out of my way." And LA Knight, I love the way LA Knight just kind of told Punk to screw. And he was just like, "Hey, bud, I don't know if you heard already, but I'm fighting Seth at Saturday night's main event. So I am the line. Yeah. So why don't you get to the back of the line?"
And he just lost the title match, Punk did.
And I loved it. I loved it. It foreshadows LA Knight and CM Punk down the line, which is a match I would be all in on.
Yep. It also, in my opinion, foreshadows for Saturday night's main event. Punk obviously fucking hates Seth Rollins more than he hates anybody. But now he's pissed off at LA Knight. If Punk got involved, who does he cost the match of?
He might just beat the shit out of both of them.
Yeah, and then do we get a triple threat? What does that do with Gunther? We don't have no fucking clue what Gunther's doing at SummerSlam. And this opens up 3 different matches for him.
And I was gonna say, once Punk shoved him, I was like, "Ooh, Punk and Gunther at SummerSlam."
Because we've been talking the last couple episodes. What the Gunther's gonna beat Goldberg? Let's fucking hope anyway.
Yeah.
Assuming Gunther just cleanly beats him, we get no cash in, which I think the cash in is completely out of the question for at least a few weeks, if not a month or 2, because of the new briefcase. So what the hell does Gunther do at SummerSlam again? And now, is it Punk? Does LA Knight get a win over Rollins because Punk costs Rollins even though he hates LA Knight? Do we get a fatal 4-way? Do we get a triple threat?
Yep.
Love that.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Yeah, and then there was a good main event too. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed beat Sami Zayn and Penta. There was a cool spot in that match where Sami did the walk with Penta, and then they both did a dive to the ring. That was pretty cool. But the baby faces stood tall, even though they lost the match. Afterwards, they were getting beaten down, and Jey Uso showed up, and he had a chair. And for a split second, I thought maybe Jey would turn. But
you always Seth Rollins has fucked my brain forever with that.
Yeah,
because of him hitting Reigns and Ambrose.
Yeah,
I always think someone's turning out with a chair in their head.
Yep, and then Jey stood tall with the baby faces, and that's how the show ended. Oh, one more cool thing in that tag match: Sami Zayn had taped ribs. And at one point, he did a move on the outside, and he did like a little Sabu tribute, and with the taped ribs and shit. I was like, that looked exactly like Sabu. It was awesome. And then that was Raw. So again, I thought Night of Champions going into Raw, and obviously the spoilers for SmackDown are out there if you want to read them. I have not.
They are available if you want to find them.
Yep. Going into a big month, because not this weekend, but next weekend is a huge wrestling weekend for WWE in general, but a gigantic weekend for WWE. And then we're 3 weeks away from SummerSlam, which is a 2-night affair for the first time ever in New York. It's going to be giant.
I will just warn people, if you want to look up, you think it might be inconsequential because it was taped, you get quite a few Evolution and Saturday Night Main Events matches, teams, programs that are officially announced on Friday. So don't look it up if you think. Usually the pre-tape shows are like, we just have good matches and not much happens. They don't want to spoil anything. You get quite a few matches that are made official for both events next weekend. So don't look it up if you don't want to be spoiled on that.
Yeah. And I know we don't talk a ton of AEW. I'm trying to convince you to start watching AEW a little bit. They've been really good these last handful of months. But tonight is Dynamite 300 as we record this.
We got a free unbelievable match tonight.
Well, we got a couple, but yes. So
one especially,
yes. Mercedes is defending the TBS championship against Mina Shirakawa.
I think that has a little bit of a quick prediction on that as well.
Well,
maybe not prediction, but
I don't know if I don't know if I would ever pick Mercedes to just lose because she's undefeated or never been pinned in that. However, I'm also a big fan of having multiple women's matches on All In.
Right.
So I think it would be really fun.
We are technically getting 2 with a gauntlet.
Yes, but I want come on.
Like real match,
listen,
singles or whatever tag.
I understand why they went with Mercedes versus Tony. It's a gigantic match. I actually think the build to it has been really good. Sure. But the reason why I didn't pick Mercedes to beat Jamie Hayter to get this match was because I didn't want the TBS championship and TBS champion to be going towards the world title and not
be.
So I think it would be fun if a week and a half before the biggest show of the year, Mercedes' biggest match in AEW, maybe Toni Storm got some revenge from the beatdown last week and
she obviously has Mina as well, Tony.
Yeah, so maybe she would help cost Mercedes the match tonight, and Mina can win the TBS championship because not only does that give Mercedes her first pinfall loss a week and a half before a big match and get some doubt in her brain, it gets the TBS title somewhere else, so that can be defended at All In as well, which would be nice.
And I think it also opens up some people that think, oh, she's not now Mercedes can lose more often. You would think naturally because she already has the first loss.
Correct. And again, Mercedes, and I understand why they're doing it. She has like 6 championships.
Every title ever.
But like Mercedes, if anybody didn't need to have a fucking undefeated streak, it's Mercedes Moné.
Right.
Like, come on. But that's happening.
We'll be doing a lot more AEW talk next week leading up, obviously. It'll be just a few days before.
Yeah, I will be previewing All In. Like, we definitely will be
AEW
previewing.
Will be it'll be like pretty much we just run down All In.
It's going to be basically a full preview show. It's just previewing everything.
Predictions, basically, yeah.
Yeah, because NXT, it's going to be a whole ton of shit. But the big match that CJ was referencing was they made it last week on Dynamite like it was nothing. For free on a motherfucking Wednesday tonight, we are getting Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi.
I've heard of that guy, too.
What the fuck?
Yeah, decent.
Holy shit. For free.
For free.
You could have told me that match was happening All In, and I probably would pay the $50 just for that.
Real quick, though, JPJ, if you want to see some more amazing AEW content for free, Hive, you go to our Twitter, X, whatever. Don't call it X, it's Twitter.
Like, we call it Twitter on this show. I don't call it. You know how many times I've called it X?
Some people do get offended weirdly.
Okay.
You go to our Twitter, Instagram, whatever app you can think of, whatever social media you can think of. Just go find the post. We'll retweet it again, I'm sure, in the days leading up. We'll retweet it today, too. Why not? Before Dynamite, as you're watching this. The day yesterday. You can get it for free, All In. You want to see All In for free? You want to see Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné go at it. You want to see Hangman Page likely knock off Jon Moxley to win the AEW World title. You want to see the two gauntlets. You can do it for free, JPJ. You say $50-$60. That sounds pretty good.
Sounds like a hell of a deal to me.
You just go comment whatever matches we didn't name yet. Whatever you're most excited about, whoever you're most excited to see. Just comment a GIF, a picture, a name. You're entered automatically for free. We'll pay for it for you. Because we make the big bucks around here, JPJ, this show.
Damn right we do.
And,
well, not this episode, though, because Lou showed
no.
his butt. So we're going to be.
If you want to see, we're willing to go broke for you guys, is what we're trying to say. Thanks to Mr. Lou.
I'm not giving him any treats. Not tonight. He
can't
ruined
afford
it for us.
I can't. He took all your money.
Yep. I'll be like, hey, man, you got to stop showing your ass for free, bro.
Me and JPJ might be doing next episode from a random alleyway because we can't afford our houses.
Who knows? Who knows? God.
But yeah, go comment what you're most excited about for All In. We'll be drawing it a couple of days before the show. You will get it for free. And if it's because it's in the afternoon, your significant other's working. They're busy. They're doing yard work. They're out to eat with a family member. And you have no one to watch it with, JPJ. Where can you watch it?
Right here on the Hive.
You watch it with that guy?
It's going to be me. Yep. It's going to be Josh. I believe it's going to be Stuart.
It will be.
Stu. So we're going to be and it's going to be early for Josh. It's going to be early. I think it's like 4 a.m. or something like that.
4:30, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. So they're getting up early.
2 p.m. over here.
Yeah, I'm going to be nice afternoon. I got the day off.
Sleep in, maybe. Take a nice shower or some food.
Listen,
what a day.
Once noon hits on Monday, the 7th, my life is college football 26. I'm like, any spare moment that I am alive and not having to do any type of work, I'm playing college football.
JPJ is willing to take away the 5th day of college football being out to spend it with you guys to watch wrestling.
All day, mind you. All day.
Because right after that, JPJ.
It goes right into Saturday night's main event.
Well, it goes into NXT.
NXT is
it's
the
like
same
in the
time
middle. It'll probably end a little bit later, but
no, I thought they were starting at the same time.
I thought
they were both at the same time.
Either way, you got NXT, which I'm sure the watch along will be speaking about during the AEW show. I'll
be watching both.
Right. It'll be a Suedo double watch along, but it's focused on All In.
All In is getting the focus. Yeah, it's the biggest show. It's getting the main focus.
Right. And then we get to watch what we were very horned up about earlier, Gunther end the career of Mr. William Goldberg, who was not from Atlanta, Georgia. He's from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then the next day, you're pulling double duty, you and Josh.
Sure.
What's on Sunday, JPJ?
A little show called Evolution. All women's pay-per-view. Second Evolution.
And maybe the bigger news, we have a debut on Sunday.
Yes. So that will be myself, Josh, and the debut on screen for Peggy, our pal Peggy, who's been killing it over on the Substack with Bryn, and we got DC writing some stuff this week, and Josh and things like that. But Peggy will be on screen for her Hive on screen debut for Evolution. We thought it would be a good idea to have a lady on screen with us during the all-lady pay-per-view. We felt like that would be the proper thing to do, and Peggy was, she's...
For as much as I love JPJ here, he will be very not centered on the viewing on Sunday. It will be all about Peggy and Josh on during Evolution.
I was honestly waiting for Josh to tell me, hey, you're not doing this one.
Yeah, the JPJ might actually be kicked off the show at some point.
That's what
Especially if you hear a Bella Twins theme song, an Iconics theme song, JPJ will be useless on that.
Let's be honest. I'm going to be useless for most of that show anyway, because... for reasons. Yeah.
But Stack Weekend coming up next weekend.
It's going to be wild, man. It's going to be
Never
wild, man.
stops around here.
I have that whole weekend off because of how loaded it is. And even me, I'm like, I'm going to be doing more than I do at work.
You're not getting a break, really. You're not actually off.
It's not really a week off. It's not really a weekend off because I'm going to have to be doing I'm going to be working doing this.
Saturday is legitimately 2 p.m. Eastern till midnight Eastern.
Basically.
Watching. You get no break either.
No.
Because NXT and All In might end like an hour before Saturday night's main event, but that's not, you go like order food and sit there or something. That's about it.
All In, it's going like 5
All
hours.
In might actually end after Saturday night's main event. actually had happened.
That listen, and I know, WWE's been real. If I was Tony Khan, because of all this counter program and shit that they've been pulling and being dicks, I would make sure
it's 7.5
that
hours.
Jon Moxley and Hangman Page was starting at the exact time that show goes on the air.
I wouldn't hate that.
I would have that match. I would have that match go like 45 fucking minutes. And I'd be like, your whole first hour, this 2 hours is getting fucked by my main event.
Yep.
That's what's happening.
That's what I would
do. That's what I would do.
Me and JPJ aren't known to be assholes or petty. Usually, obviously, everybody knows that. We're humble, nice guys.
Straight and narrow, man. Straight and narrow.
But I'm down for some petty words between Tony 100%. And Mr. Levesque.
And again,
I'm down for
it. If WWE hasn't been, if they haven't been, doing this, like next weekend, All In was booked next weekend a fucking year ago. And then WWE.
And it was scheduled to be in the afternoon too, as well.
Correct.
For a while.
Yes. Yeah. A year ago,
because it's usually just in London time, so it's usually in the afternoon anyway.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that because I love afternoon wrestling, and it gives the people in Europe,
right?
They can watch it at a reasonable hour. I'm fine with that.
Unless you're Josh in Australia.
Yeah, well, I'm fine with that, but at the same time, WWE are the ones that are acting like bullies, and coming in a few months afterwards and going, "Oh, this is your weekend. Let's just fucking run 5 events."
I'm fine with them doing Saturday night's main event after AEW scheduled it in the afternoon. You want to schedule a show at 8:00 at night? Perfect.
Fine. I'm fine with you even doing Evolution. I'm fine with you even doing Evolution the next day.
Yeah, just
what I'm not okay with
bullshit. If they even did NXT Sunday afternoon instead, it's fine.
That's what they should do. They should do NXT Sunday afternoon and Evolution Sunday night.
Yep.
But when you book NXT for the second major AEW pay-per-view in a row, right against AEW. That does a disservice. First of all, you're being bitches. You're being bitches.
Yeah, sure.
You're being a little fucking bully. Second of all, it's a disservice to the wrestling fan because wrestling fans like us that watch both, we have to pick one or the other.
And no offense, we're not picking NXT live.
We're not, and I love NXT.
We'll go back and watch it, just not live.
And then it does a disservice to those NXT wrestlers.
Yeah, you're taking at least 500,000 viewers away from them right off.
At least. And that's not fair to them because NXT might be the best show WWE has every week.
And because especially NXT is so easily accessible on tape that you can't really buy a pay-per-view after it's on with AEW. Even if you wanted to prioritize NXT, it's way harder to prioritize NXT. Because you can just pop Peacock on or whatever late 2 hours after AEW ends and then you go see you later. You're watching both.
Yeah, 100%.
But
yeah, who knows? But on that note, we went overtime today.
We did,
but that's all right. Every so often we're gonna when we get riled up and
stuff.
We gotta have to preview like fucking 19 shows.
Yeah, might be a 3-hour watch long.
Could be. Could be. But let the people know where they can find you, and then I'll do my thing and we can get up on out of here.
CGF Rights on Twitter.
You gotta point the other way.
CGF Rights on Twitter. That's it. Find me there. The Hive_media is where you find all Josh is back up and running. He's had a couple of streams on his new setup.
Yep.
So pretty much daily content again with the Hive. We're right back to it. And leading up to maybe the first, second, or third busiest time of the year.
Love it. And you know what else is happening this weekend here on the Hive? Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh yeah, little late night Evolution action.
Late night. Yeah, it's the 4th of July weekend. I was like, we got to start later, bro.
Late night. You never know what could happen.
So 10 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday evening, Josh and I will be live on this very site, The Hive, and we will be doing our monthly WWE 2K Twitch sim, 2K25, and we will be doing Evolution. So hopefully we have more matches announced by then because there's not many right now.
We'll just make some up as we've done.
We'll do what we have to do. But we do know that we're getting a battle royal, but we're going to be doing that Royal Rumble style, which is going to be fun.
And we always, JPJ and Josh, always some insane shit goes down on those.
Always.
Especially, late night with JPJ and Josh. You never know what could happen late nights with you two. So
You don't. So it's worth the if you haven't watched any of these Sims before, they're wild. They're a wild time. It's always a blast.
Most of the time.
The chat is always incredible. Like, it's just a great time. So show up Saturday night, a little later start.
You're not doing anything. Don't go out late at night on Saturday. Nothing good happens there.
No.
Go grab. You want to drink a little bit? Do it on your couch watching the boys. You know.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. So a little bit later start than usual, but Saturday night we'll be here for the sim of Evolution and 2K25. You can follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming everywhere. Next week on Twitch, College Football 26 comes out. We're going to be getting back to streaming, hopefully more regularly.
A little bit of a tease. There might be a Hive University opening up. Some are saying.
Listen,
I don't know.
I've heard that the Hive University has declared to be eligible for Division I.
Wow.
And College Football 26. We are waiting on the answer. We hopefully should find out within the next coming days.
We might have a huge transfer from Australia being the quarterback, as I'm saying.
Yep. So you just be on the lookout because we might have the Hive University. It might be a thing.
Those are just rumors, though.
Rumors. Yep, we know. Side note, congratulations to the Busted Open people. 24/7 for them. That's dope. I've been listening to Busted Open for a really, really long time. LaGreca's been doing that shit as a hobby for like 20 years. Almost. Full time on Sirius XM. Busted Open. That's a big time deal. So congrats to them. They have a lot of good people that do a lot of good stuff.
Denise, shout out to Denise.
Yeah, Denise Delcedo rules. Sam Roberts, I've always been a fan of. I like LaGreca. Just good stuff. Just good stuff over there. So congrats to them. But that's going to do it for us. We will be back early next week talking some pro sports. And then next week, like we said, it's basically going to be a preview show. We're going to be previewing the whole weekend's worth of big events.
Our predictions as well.
And our picks and all our fun stuff like that. So until then, enjoy the weekend. Any Americans, have a safe, fun, happy 4th of July. I will be having a good time. Hopefully, I do love the 4th. It's a good holiday.
We'll be playing college football all day.
Yes. So be safe. Have a good time. Happy holidays to this weirdly fucked up country that we live in, CJ. But it is what it is. But on that note, we're going to get out of here. Follow us. Follow the Hive everywhere. We're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And until next time, we will see you all then. Peace out.